Hello, nice to see you again. I'm Chengzi the Orange. Today we're going to talk about something important but a bit heavy, depression. Before we dive in, I want to start by talking about a novel called Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. Norwegian Wood is one of the most beautiful stories I have ever read about youth. Its beauty lies not in tales of unquenchable personal ambition, heroic triumphs over poverty or injustice, or epic love stories set against the background of war or disaster. Those feel like the stuff of distant legends. Instead, it captures the lives of ordinary young people, like you, your friends, and the person I once was, struggling to find our place in a chaotic world that feels foreign to our parents and other mentors. We don't know what dreams to chase, what kind of life we want to build, who we can entrust with our hearts, or when our restless souls might finally find peace. In the most beautiful years of our lives, did we live our youth freely and willfully? Not entirely. We tasted endless loneliness and confusion, navigating the uncertainty of those formative years. Many of you might have already read Norwegian Wood multiple times. Let's revisit this timeless story together. On an ordinary afternoon in 1985, 37-year-old journalist Toru Watanabe suddenly lost in an overwhelming wave of sadness as he heard the Beatles' Norwegian Wood playing in the airplane cabin. The song, transporting him to a distant past, had been his former girlfriend Naoko's most beloved. As a quiet and unremarkable high school student, Watanabe had been the closest friend of Kazuki, a charming, intelligent boy with a sincere and genuine demeanor. Kazuki and his girlfriend Naoko were the bright center of Watanabe's otherwise mundane school life. However, their idyllic friendship was shattered when Kazuki, for reasons unknown, took his own life at the age of 17. His death left Watanabe grappling with profound loneliness and confusion. A year later, Watanabe enrolled in a university in Tokyo, where he unexpectedly reunited with Naoko, who was also studying there. Both adrift and isolated in the sprawling city, they grew close, seeking solace in each other's company. On Naoko's 20th birthday, their friendship took an intimate turn. Yet instead of bringing them together as lovers, it made Naoko feel extremely guilty. Unable to cope, she dropped out of university and retreated to a distant sanatorium for psychological treatment. Watanabe, captivated by Naoko's beauty, gentleness, and fragile sensitivity, made the long journey to visit her. Naoko, though longing to be with him, faced insurmountable barriers. She remained trapped in Kazuki's shadow and doubted her ability to recover fully. While Naoko struggled in isolation, life outside moved on. Midori, a lively and cheerful younger classmate of Watanabe, expressed her affection for him. Understanding his complicated situation, she left the decision to him, offering him the possibility of a brighter, more hopeful future. However, Naoko's despair overwhelmed her. Believing recovery was beyond her reach, she ended her life at the sanatorium. Her suicide drowned Watanabe with unbearable grief and self-reproach. He wandered like a ghost for several months, unable to escape or move forward, until he finally realized that somewhere in the world, Midori was still waiting for him. Some reviewers have listed Norwegian Wood as one of the must-read novels about youthful bewilderment. However, in my view, it delves deeper, making it one of the most compelling books about youthful depression. Why? Let's examine how many characters in the novel either committed suicide or chose to isolate themselves from society. Kazuki, Watanabe's best friend in high school. He took his own life at 17, leaving no explanation for his actions. Naoko, a central figure in the story, Kazuki's girlfriend in high school and later Watanabe's in college. After having an intimate relationship with Watanabe, she was overwhelmed with guilt, retreating to a sanatorium and ultimately ending her life. Reiko, Naoko's roommate in the sanatorium. She was once a talented pianist, but gave up her music career after a mental breakdown. After a malicious student ruined her peaceful life, she sought refuge in the sanatorium, where she lived in isolation for over a decade. Hatsumi, the kind, cultured, and graceful girlfriend of Nagasawa, Watanabe's college friend. Despite repeatedly forgiving Nagasawa's betrayals, she couldn't hold on to him. After marrying another man, she took her own life. Naoko's elder sister, radiant, lively, and charismatic, yet she ended her life for reasons unknown when Naoko was still a child. Naoko's elder brother, a close friend of Kazuki's who also committed suicide during his college years. Then, what is the main difference between youthful bewilderment and depression? It lies in the depth, duration, and impact of the emotions involved. Youthful bewilderment is often referred to as youthful angst or normal young adult confusion. It describes the emotional turbulence and uncertainty that often accompany the transition into adulthood. These mood swings or frustrations are typically temporary, fluctuate frequently, and are situational rather than pervasive, rarely disrupting overall functioning or qualifying as mental disorders. On the contrary, depression is a kind of mental disorder. People with depression disorders normally have persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. They may lose interest in all activities once enjoyed. The melancholy mood can affect their daily functioning and cause physical symptoms like changes in appetite, sleep disturbances, and even physical pain. In severe cases, depression may lead to suicidal thoughts and actions. Depression is intense and enduring, often lasting weeks, months, or even years without intervention. When depression symptoms last for more than 2 weeks, it is called major depression disorders, MDD. In Norwegian Wood, Naoko and Raiko can be certain to have depression disorders. Kizuki, Hatsumi, Naoko's elder sister and elder brother, although not mentioned too much in the novel, might have depression based on their suicide at young ages. Here I'd also like to discuss several other common types of mental disorders, as their symptoms can be similar to or even overlap with those of depressive disorders. These include anxiety disorders, which are generally milder than depressive disorders, as well as bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which are progressively more severe. People with anxiety disorders often experience intense, disproportionate anxiety about everyday situations, leading to symptoms like restlessness, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, muscle tension, irritability, and sleep disturbances. If you've watched The Lord of the Rings, you might recognize some traits of anxiety disorders in Frodo Baggins. Bipolar disorder and schizophrenia are significantly more serious and complex than depressive disorders. Bipolar disorder, formerly known as manic depressive illness, is characterized by extreme mood swings, including emotional highs, mania or hypomania, and lows, depression. A well-known movie character exhibiting bipolar traits is Pat Solitano in Silver Linings Playbook. Schizophrenia is a severe mental health condition that profoundly affects how individuals think, feel, and behave. It often involves hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking and behavior. Patients may see or hear things that others do not, or hold strong beliefs disconnected from reality. This disconnect makes daily life extraordinarily challenging. In the movie A Beautiful Mind, John Nash is a quintessential representation of schizophrenia. Among the mental disorders discussed, depression is undoubtedly the most significant. While anxiety is relatively manageable, and situations like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia are less prevalent in the general population, depression remains pervasive worldwide and notoriously difficult to treat, making it a profound global burden. This is the end for our talk today. In the next video, we'll explore the prevalence, severity, and causes of depressive disorders. See you soon.